So, ladies and gentlemen, your next bout this evening. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. Please welcome Junior Morgan.
So here we go, fight fans. We are at FCC 9 here at the Reebok Arena, and next in the lightweight division is Junior Morgan fighting out Team Monkey MMA versus Antonio Sheldon from FCPC, and this really is a very interesting matchup we have for us. We've seen both fighters before. We're going to break it down. Junior Morgan is the first fighter to be coming into the cage. Now, we last saw Junior Morgan at Full Contact Contender 6, where he beat Aaron Johnson via the split decision. It was actually Fight of the Night Contender. Absolutely cracking fight. Check it out. Get onto YouTube. Have a look at that. Great fight it was. Now, he's not had a fight since June, which was FCC 6. So he's taken a bit of time to have a break. But now, you know, he's back here, and talking to him, it feels like it's just the right time. He needs to take that time away from it, refocus himself. Obviously, in that time, Team Monkey have had some huge success, so he's another one of these fighters, obviously being spurned by the success of fighters like Ashley Reese, Javon Morrison. So he is here to really stamp his mark in the lightweight category. But you know what? The lightweight category is packed really with talent, isn't it, Jamie?
Ridiculously packed, mate. I think it's the biggest division in the UK for fighters officially, and you know, it's one of the divisions where a lot of welterweights dropped as soon as the lightweight in the UFC came about. A lot of welters dropped to lightweight because it was there, it was available, you know, and it is such a stacked division. Junior Morgan had a really tough fight against Aaron Johnson, and I think he's in for another tough fight right now. He's fighting Antonio Sheldon.
And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. Please welcome Antonio Sheldon.
So Antonio Sheldon, the third fighter tonight. Fourth fighter, in fact. Beg your pardon. We have a lot. I mean, Martin Stapleton, Hodgkins are very generous with their fighters, bringing some top quality guys. They've done well so far. They've had a lot of success here already. But you know what? Junior Morgan is no pushover, and this is a very serious opponent for Antonio Sheldon. He's had a busy 12 months. He's had 4 fights, but he's had 4 wins, so he's on a really solid win streak, Jamie.
He is, mate. You know, the first time Antonio Sheldon fought on FCC, he was in such a war with Paul Maddox. You know, one of the best fights I've seen, and it was his first ever fight. He was very nervous. I remember interviewing him before the fight. This was a few weeks before, and he was so nervous. You know what? That has gone now. He's a totally different fighter. The nerves aren't there. He's had 5 fights in the past couple of years. He's ready. He is.
And recently, he finally got his blue belt under Andy Aspinall. So you know that's obviously going to add to his confidence. But yeah, no, like you're saying, Jamie, a completely different fight from the first time we saw him at Full Contact Contender. You know, walking up to the cage, very serious, very confident, and he should be. You know, he's a very skilled fighter.
Martin Stapleton, head coach of FCPC, talks very highly of Ando. And he basically said, you know, this kid has got, you know, he obviously got stuff to learn, but he wants to learn. He's like a sponge. He takes everything in. He wants to fight, and he's so tough. And even the fight against Paul Maddox, you know, he wasn't finished in that fight. It was a decision that he lost. But what a fight it was! And Paul Maddox is a really top, well-rounded fighter from 12 gauge.
But one would have to say this is possibly his toughest opponent yet in Junior Morgan.
So, ladies and gentlemen, our next part of the evening will be fought over 3 3-minute rounds at an amateur mixed martial arts rules in the FCC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he enters the cage with a mixed martial arts record of 1 victory, no defeats, and 1 draw. Representing Monkey MMA Academy from Manchester, Junior Morgan. And his opponent, Hiding out of the red corner, he enters the cage with a mixed martial arts record of 4 victories and 1 defeat. Representing FCPC from Rochdale, Antonio Sheldon. Our referee in charge of actions to Dean Weir.
This lightweight bout is sponsored by Grapple Nation, Manchester's #1 no-gi grappling competition. So here we are, a very serious face on Junior Morgan, and some serious support for both these fighters. This atmosphere is electric here at the Reebok Arena.
Morgan in the blue compression shorts and Sheldon in the black Venom shorts. We are ready to go. Straightforward there from Sheldon with them late inside leg kicks. You know, we've seen that the FCP boys like to throw them inside leg kicks. Sheldon goes for a single leg takedown there.
Yeah, you can
doesn't quite get it though.
No, it's not going to be an easy and a good takedown there from Sheldon. There's a great response. Both these guys in great condition, aren't they?
Superb condition. This is actually Antonio Sheldon's first time at lightweight, and does he looking good, Nick Jez?
Yeah, he does. I mean, one would have to say certainly these boys, whoever wins this fight is really going to be making their mark on this division. And yeah,
to be honest with you, Antonio Sheldon, I've seen his last few fights, and he's overpowered people in the welterweight division. He's now stepped down to lightweight. You know, he's had a good talk with his coaches, and Stapes thought it was a good idea to drop him down to lightweight. And you know what? It probably is. And he looks like a natural lightweight now.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, Junior Morgan is quite an interesting lightweight, isn't he? He's very long, very reachy. You know, it's not easy to find guys like that to train against. So you know, he's going to provide a handful for Sheldon here.
Yeah, we were talking about this before, Jez, and we've seen it as well, where you know you take someone down with ridiculously long legs like Junior Morgan, and you are susceptible to being subbed because long legs are always good for jiu-jitsu, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But you know, Sheldon's doing well. He's maintaining side control. You know, what I like to see from fighters, you know, he's being patient, and that is so important. He's just waiting for the right opportunity to present itself.
You don't want to sit in someone's guard with long legs, and Sheldon sees that straight away, and he's not doing it. He's gone straight to side control. He's got his hips pressed on him, and he's controlling this fight so far. But Junior Morgan is trying to get his hips back and get that leg in.
Yeah, but Sheldon's doing everything right at the moment, maintaining side control, looking to soften up his opponent, possibly looking to eventually isolate the arm.
Yeah, he looks like he's going for that arm. You know, he's throwing a couple of hammer fists there. Throwing the hammer fist, Jez, that opens someone up to leave the arm out, maybe for an Americana or even a Kimura. It's a very dangerous thing to do, but Junior's taking it well so far.
Yeah, he is. I mean, the only thing I'd like to see is that I'd like to see those hips a little bit low. We've seen them before. He just does leave a little bit of space. If Junior Morgan wants to slip that arm in and possibly explode out and use that as leverage to create space and get away from it, he does have the opportunity. But a good knee on belly there. But finally, Junior has got some space, some good up kicks there. He's caught Sheldon once or twice.
Yeah, this is where Sheldon's got to be careful now, sitting in the guard of Junior Morgan, because Junior's got a very active guard. I've seen it before, and we know what do you know what? We know exactly how Aussie Halleck works, and the boys down at Monkey, and they do have, you know, a really good game off the back.
Yeah, we can already see that, you know, high guard pulling it up, but doing well. Junior Morgan is just controlling his fighter, pulling their head down, but a mutual sign of respect. These boys are in for a scrap tonight. And I can see this going 3 rounds, to be honest, Jamie.
I can as well, and I've got to give the first round to Antonio Sheldon just for the work rate and obviously the takedowns. You know, he worked from. In fact, it was completely all of him, wasn't it? Really, he took that position, the top position, and he worked it all the way through. He didn't get turned, he didn't get swept. He just kept a top position.
So more of the same really from both these guys. I mean, neither of them has given away a lot. They're both doing exactly what they need to do. We knew this was going to be an explosive matchup between the two guys, and it's been exactly that. So
yeah, it does. I mean, I think Junior's got to keep this standing though. I've seen Junior Morgan stand up, and it's not right. And I think if he keeps it standing, it can be a different fight. However, keeping it standing with someone like Antonio Sheldon, is that easy, Jez?
Well, no, we're not. We know it's not an easy situation at all, and we know, talking about it earlier with Sheldon's jiu-jitsu, once you get him on the floor, you know, he's got some skills there. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Junior Morgan will benefit if he can keep it standing, but that's not an easy task.
I really thought that Sheldon would have a tough weight cut with him dropping to lightweight for the first time, but he really didn't. He walked straight in. First time on the scales was bang on. and that's how it should be. This is the weight for him. He's got to be careful of standing trading with Junior Morgan. Exactly what I said a minute ago, Jez. This is what Junior wants. He needs to keep it standing.
Yeah, and a good sprawl there, but some really nice wrestling there from Antonio Sheldon. Caught that single, wrapped it up, pulled the second in. He's tied him up now. Once again, I like this from Sheldon. He's very patient, isn't he? He's just waiting for the right opportunity, just looking to secure that, what we say, position before submission, and he's taken Mount here. Just needs to be careful. Had that arm through, gave Junior Morgan some room, but now in north-south position.
See, I like what he did there, Jez. As he felt Junior Morgan get a bit of space, he switched from the top position from Mount into that north-south. It was a very good idea to do that, because otherwise he'd have been turned over.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Sheldon in top position now, and side control. Let's see what he can do from here. Let's see if he can work it, because so far this has pretty much been this has been how the battle has gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I mean, side control is a favourite. I mean, I always like side control. I think you just have so many options from this position. You can soften up your opponent, and I just think you can ultimately maintain a lot more control from here. And Sheldon's like that. He's closing the distance. Not a lot of room between his hips and the body of Junior Morgan. He's controlling that leg, not allowing Junior Morgan to slip that leg in and try and take a half guard. He's doing everything right at the moment.
Yeah, the one thing I'd like to see slightly different is he's doing a great job so far. I'd like to see a few more knees to the ribs, to the midsection. You can, especially that right side of the ribs, he can really damage the floating ribs there.
And now he's stepped over and he's taken Mount here. Junior Morgan doing right. He's got to maintain that distance, keep that really nice and close, not give his opponent any space to rain some ground and pound.
He's also, did you notice how he was speaking to his corner then? Jez, did you notice how he was speaking he looked up to speak to Martin Stapleton in his corner?
Yeah.
That is a true professional, isn't it?
Yeah, intelligent fight. I mean, we say this, don't we, every time. It's like, these guys are the most professional amateurs you're ever going to see, folks. You are being treated to some high caliber MMA here, the best of British.
So we've got Antonio Sheldon still in top position. This has been the story of the fight so far, but you've got to be so careful sitting in the guard of Junior Morgan. I know this kid can sub from anywhere, and there we go. So he was lifting the legs up there, Jez.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he does pose a threat, but I think with Sheldon's experience in jiu-jitsu, I think he can weather most of threats coming from Junior Morgan on his back. But Morgan does well to get back on his feet. This is where he wants it, but he's run out of time, unfortunately.
So Antonio Sheldon, a blue belt from under Andy Aspinall. Tell us a little bit about that, Jez.
Well, basically, he's got a blue belt, and that was awarded by Andy Aspinall.
Andy Aspinall, the Team Cabon, and also the FCPC head BJJ coach, black belt in his own right, and we will see his son fight tonight for the heavyweight title, and that's where we will be doing what?
I will be ringing that unit alarm. Don't you worry, my friend. Don't you worry. But certainly, Sheldon, worked very hard. Last time we saw him, he felt his ground game was his strength. But he's looking very comfortable on his feet. I mean, I think that's where Junior Morgan poses the significant threat for him. I think that's where he would win this fight, and I think that's what he's got to do now, because Sheldon really is controlling it when he gets onto the deck.
Absolutely, mate. He really is a very controlling fighter. We know that anyway. You know the strength of him. But isn't it great to see Antonio Sheldon 12 months ago? He was a different fighter, wasn't he? Against Paul Maddox, completely different guy.
Yeah, and it's great to see. It's nice to see guys who are able to fulfil their potential. I know Stapes is obviously very proud of him, and he's doing that here. But he's got another round. He's got to keep up this momentum.
And the same is to be said about Junior Morgan. Ozzy Hallock's got a cracking gym down there with some really good fighters coming out of it. Like I say, the current lightweight champion, which is Ashley Reese. He comes out of that gym, and I'm sure Ashley will be watching this fight, because if Antonio Sheldon wins it, that could be a contender for that title.
That is a very good shout, Jamie. I like the sound of that, but he's got a lot to do here. He's got a tough opponent. It's not going to be an easy round for him. He needs to be careful. This is where Junior Morgan, I think, could take the fight. He needs to keep it here. He needs to be careful. We saw he had a good sprawl technique. He needs to employ that. But Sheldon doing well. He's searching for that single leg. He's got that at the moment.
Right in front of us here, Jez. Some very good work from Junior Morgan there, but also great defence from Sheldon. He's got a bit of a mouse under that right eye now as well, Sheldon. So he took some shots there.
Yeah. I mean, we said Morgan's got a good defence, trying to throw the arm, that leg up, but Antonio doing well, brushing that aside and re-establishing side control here. Morgan on his back, trying to soften his opponent up, just putting some hammer fists in there to the side of Antonio Sheldon, but that's not really going to bother him.
I genuinely believe that, you know, Antonio can ride out this round now, and he's already won convincingly in the first two. That's my opinion. However, I'm not a judge, Jez, luckily, and
yeah,
that's fortunate for us, mate, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, but I think, you know, he that is the case, but, you know, we know the kind of fighter that Antonio Sheldon is. He's going to want to find a submission here.
Yeah, and he's looking, you know, he's raining down real shots here. You know, the ground and pound is good, but Junior is very active off his back. You know, he's blocking the transition there. However, I'd like to see him use his his left hip in, and try and sort of shrimp out and get up from there.
Yeah, agreed. I completely agree with that. Second that motion.
So, but Ando's taking full advantage of it, and he's going for that arm.
Yeah,
he's stepping up for that arm. And Junior sees that, pulls back out.
That's what she said.
So, Sheldon still in top position. Again, Jez, this has been the story of the fight, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It really has. It's been all about Sheldon's takedowns and him solidifying his command and control on the deck. And you have to admit, you know, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, especially, you know, guys who get up to the blue belt, purple belts, who, you know, one thing people forget about jiu-jitsu is that they're not notorious for their takedowns. No. When it gets onto the ground, superb. I mean, Guy, but, you know, he's able to transfer that. But obviously, he's been working extremely hard on his takedowns, because he knows when he can get them, he can just control the fight, and he's doing that now. But he's isolated the arm finally, which we wanted to see him doing a bit earlier. Looking like he's going to run out of time, but I think, you know, he's done everything he needs to.
You've got to be very careful here, though, the last few seconds of the round. So, Jez, what are your overall thoughts on the 3 rounds of that fight, mate?
Well, impressive, I think, more from Sheldon. He's grown and grown since the last time we saw him, and you know, some people will be at home who don't necessarily know as much about the sport. I encourage you, get involved. It's fantastic, but that was a very technical fight, and I think, you know, Sheldon did everything he needed to win it, and I think he has won it. I don't really see much threat from Junior Morgan, and that, I think, says everything about the performance that Sheldon put in, that he cancelled out every threat that Morgan posed.
Yeah, I agree with that as well, mate. I think Sheldon really nullified what Morgan was good at. Even on the ground, you know, he's shown it. You know, obviously he's a blue belt. He's been training in Gi Jiu-Jitsu under Andy Aspinall, but his wrestling was superb, and I think his top game was very, very good, very strong, and he's an accomplished fighter, isn't he?
So we shall now pass this over to the voice of the Vale for the decision.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to our judges this evening. With a unanimous decision, your winner, Red Antonio Sheldon. Let's hear it as well for Junior Morgan.